Now, when you met your wife, which of her physical features first caught your fancy? Okay, Betty, what's Alan going to say?
Could I pass and go to Kathy?
I don't think so.
I am in trouble.
You're in big trouble.
I haven't the foggiest notion what he's going to say.
Really?
It'll be something ugly, but...
There is nothing ugly on you, my dear, so it couldn't be.
I tell you what, he might say my eyes. I don't know.
That's what a man in the front row just said. He said...
Let's say that.
You want to say your eyes?
Let's try that for size.
Okay.
For eyes, yes.
Okay. Let's bring on Alan and see what he says. Alan?
Yeah.
Which physical feature first caught your fancy, sir?
Well, I hope she hasn't been coy. She sometimes doesn't think really the right thing. Would you accept body?
No, we were more specific. We said physical feature. So
Well, the body is a boobs.
Second guesses don't work here, Alan. Would you try for a third, sir? I mean, just for
No,
fun.
I thought if I said it was in the general area of the whole body.
Well, yes, a physical feature usually is, Alan.
Well, I mean, as opposed to the face or the eyes or the smile or the hair, it was
Yes.
the body. It was below the neck.
Yes. Well, maybe it was for you, but that's not what Betty said.
What did she say?
Tell him what you said, Betty.
I said my eyes.
See?
Well, they're okay.
Moving right along, folks. Thank you, Alan. Kathy, how about Tommy? What's he...
The password is absurd.
Betty, 10 points. You can have the game on this.
Ridiculous.
Stupid.
That's my wife, sir. All right.
Play this with just words, no signs, okay?
I'll keep my hands to
You
myself.
keep your hands to yourself. You ready to go?
That doesn't go for you, Robert.
You stay where you are. All right, okay. Here, you know, sometimes it's a problem. Here we go.
4 or maybe 5 people in our audience who don't know Betty White is now Mrs. Alan Ludden. Betty, how long have you been married?
3 weeks, 3 days, 4 hours and 20 minutes, approximately.
40 minutes. I'm not going to get in on anything here. I'm going to leave that one right alone. I do know, however, that there's very good news for people who want to see you together because you're opening, it'll be tomorrow night, won't it?
Tomorrow night.
Brigadoon.
Yes, Patterson, New Jersey.
Oh.
Hey. Oh, boy. That ought to be fun, really.
That was it. Ladies, which was the bigger thrill? The first time your husband made love to you, or the last time? What's she going to say?
Oh, now you all know, gang, that we haven't been doing so well this week. And no matter what it may seem to you regular viewers of Tattletales, I do know the lady I live with, and we are married.
Yes.
And I wish I'd said I'd been just getting better. But I'm more related to what he said about the age and the time in life. I guess, because I can't be sure, but I think she's going to say the first time.
Okay, let's bring her on and find out. Betty, which was the bigger thrill, the first time or the last time?
Oh, I would hate to think it was the last time. Oh, no way. Oh, no. I would say the most recent.
That's my girl.
Would you like me to rephrase that for you?
No, the most recent, I think.
So you would say, what's the last time?
The most recent.
The most recent.
The last time. Yeah, well, if you insist.
That's not what the man said, so at least you're consistent. I will say that, Alan.
He said what?
He said the first time. You would say the first time.
He can't remember back till spring? Alan!
I'm sorry, no score there. Jill and Joe.
What do you mean no score there?
Oh, I'm
There may never be a score here again.
People ask the most interesting questions.
They do.
It's a very interesting little show. I enjoy it every day.
Thank you.
I listen to it.
Then I untie him from the chair.
Yes.
Speech?
Speech, 9 points, Betty.
Enunciation.
Pronounce.
Roughly a form, one chance to give me the precise... What?
Pronouncement.
Pronouncement? No, I'm going to throw the word out as pronunciation was the word. So that's not neat. In there. All right.
Pronouncement. Have you ever heard of pronouncement?
Gotta live with her. All right, want you to look at
The
it.
password is scrawl.
Yes, I do. 10 points, Arlene.
Alan?
Alan,
Kiss your hand.
kiss your hand.
Not yours, this shows bananas. I may do it. Not yet.
All right, one more.
I haven't tried Betty yet.
I've tried Betty.
Little
joke there, that's all. Just funny.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Name one thing that keeps you from being perfect. Name one thing that keeps you from being perfect. Don't say a word, think about it, and we'll come back to your answer in a minute. Alan, what about Betty? What's she going to say?
Well, you know, Betty is really a very insecure lady, and I'm sure she's going to think of a lot of things that keep her from being perfect. Really, there's nothing that keeps her from being perfect.
I can't think of anything.
No, I can't either. But her temper might be one.
Oh.
She might think of her temper. She might.
Has
And
a bit of
she
a
might
temper,
not,
does she?
But I think probably she will say temper in the disposition temper area. I think. If she doesn't, I'm going to be very interested to hear what she says.
All right.
And bananas, you know, we're not the best team in the world to be for, but
Yes, you are too. Don't you
Okay.
worry about it now. This is all going to be different today.
We're going to win today?
Yes,
All
maybe
right,
in the
watch.
past you haven't been, but you're
Here
going to
we
do
go,
fine
gang.
today.
Let's see what
All
happens.
right, you say her temper. Let's see what Betty says.
Our disposition.
Betty, what would you say would be the one thing that might keep you from being perfect?
Do you have about 15 minutes?
No, but you can start.
Well, three things are just fighting for supremacy, but I think I'm going to say it's my cooking ability.
That isn't the one that
My
won
temper?
out. Yes, that's it. He said your temper. Number two was the one, but number two doesn't work here. Only in car rental agencies, and we're sorry about that, dear.
I think you cook beautifully, darling.
What's number three, Betty?
Don't you say that to me! You know how that makes me.
You said there were three things. What was the third one?
Leave it alone.
Lack of punctuality.
Lack of punctuality. Okay, none of those are right. I'm sorry about that.
6 points, Betty.
Quiver.
They're great eyes, but I don't.
Just think about the game.
One is all that we require there.
Well, they were all wrong.
Wait a minute. I'd like to just take these. Hold on just a second here. I've got to
Poor
consult
Betty
here.
White.
Listen. Tell him to do his homework, would you?
I've tried to teach him everything I know.
Not only does he
touch me on
have
the
the
start.
#1 show in the country, he's now getting my wife, for heaven's sake.
Betty White, thank you.
All right. I never told her I was smart.
University, and I'm currently employed as a law clerk downtown Los Angeles.
Well, if you're a law clerk, you fool around with words all the time, right?
How do you
Somewhat,
feel
yeah.
about older women?
How do you feel about younger men?
Wonderful.
I don't know when I lost control, but it's good. Shall we just go along with this game, shall we? Okay, you got the new one.
Tells a risque joke in front of your wife. Do you ever have to explain it to her? When someone tells a risque joke in front of your wife, do you ever have to explain it to her? We'll come back in just a minute. Thank you. You and Alan, someone tells a risque joke. Does he ever have to explain it to you?
Oh, does he ever have to explain it to me?
Yes.
Well, see, my father was a traveling man.
Yeah.
And he always taught me that if you don't get it, laugh anyway and find out later.
Right.
No,
he
he does
never
not.
has. Do you ever have to explain it to him?
Yes, but then sometimes he still doesn't quite.
All right, so you're going to say no.
Yes.
All right. No, you mean no.
I mean, no, he will say no.
That's right. No.
That's what I meant.
I understand
Yes.
that. No.
No.
You mean the answer is no. Let's bring him on. Do you ever have to
Bert,
explain?
Bert,
Yes,
Betty
Alan?
is the daughter of a traveling salesman. She could talk for 2 hours and trade taglines with Henny Youngman.
Right.
Never do I
That's
have
what the lady said. You're right. You have a share of that.
That was a ringer, I gotta tell you.
Does she have a favorite story that she likes? That you can tell?
Well, she may have, but I can't tell it because I forget them.
All right, you have a share of the pot.
His dimple.
10 points, Betty.
Cheek.
Pat cheek, no. 9 points, Frank.
Cleft.
Dimple.
Yes. Where'd you get it?
She has two nice dimples.
I'm surprised you did that. She doesn't like to be teased about them. All right, here you go, Carl.
I'll do anything to win.
Kathleen, even marry the MC, huh? I'd like you to say it.
The password is funnel.
10 points, Carl. Second clue.
Lips.
Let's see if this is Kiss.
It is kiss.
I think it's number 1 because I look into his eyes and I get a very funny feeling, honey. I mean it on
Alan? Oh, I don't know. She shakes me so.
Here's a question to see how observant your husbands are. Actually, exactly, I mean.
Or whatever.
Can't read anything.
Exactly where on your body is your vaccination? Alan, how about Betty?
Now, there is no question about this, gang.
Does this sound familiar to you, red section?
I am so sure that it's bound to be wrong.
Right.
It's on her left arm right about there.
Right about there.
Wouldn't it be funny if Alan knew and Betty didn't?
No, she's had time to check by now.
All right.
All right, on her left arm, is that what you said?
And if I'm wrong, I'm leaving the whole thing. I'm leaving the studio.
Well, the red section's not
With
too
all
crazy
my
about that
gang,
idea.
they'll run me out.
All right, let's bring her on. Betty, exactly where on your body is your vaccination?
Well, I have a heart-shaped mole on my left hip. Ask anybody, but honest to Pete, I've been vaccinated, but I don't think I have a vaccination.
Yes, you do. It's on your left arm. Look.
You say you don't have one, Betty?
I don't have a vaccination. I will show you. Look,
Let me see that. Let's see that. Alan just left the studio. By golly, she doesn't have one. Alan just left, Betty. Alan just left, Betty. We don't know how to break this.
He just left Betty is what he did.
No,
yes.
Alan just left Betty. That means 2 of you got it right. Clarence, Coy, Jill, and Joe. No, that's not right at all. Jill and Joe are the only ones that got it. You got the money.
Sinatra. Frank.
Well, roughly a form of the word. I'll give you a chance to give me the precise word.
Frankfurter.
No. Frank.
Well, that's a plural, Franks.
Do I accept that as the plural of Frank? All right. I think Sinatra's first name is not Franks, it's Frank.
I think Frank's and sauerkraut.
I see, but all... Well, I wanted to be objective, and I'll be that everything. 24 points for the ladies.
You know, they say when people and their pets live together long enough, they begin to look alike. Well, I want you to take a real close look at these 3. This is Emma, this is Willie, and this is Sooner, and see if they look anything like our special guest, Alan Ludden. Hello, Alan.
Hi. What do you mean, me?
What do you mean they look like me? You live with them too, you know.
Well, I do. I'm getting to look a little more like you, I think.
With any luck.
I'm delighted that you're here today. I really am. I'm delighted my whole family is.
Yeah, actually, I had the dogs when I met Betty. You see, I have a young man's son who was allergic to animal dander. The doctor told me that I ought to get poodles, so we took 2 girls and found 2 brown poodles and ended up with 2 instead of 1. And I've always thought, in all truth, that having these poodles was the greatest thing I had in my favor talking this lady here into marrying me, right?
With any luck.
Yeah, with any luck. I don't know what that expression means.
They have a lovely gift. I don't know what it is.
It's me, honey. I didn't know how to tell you.
Just how I wanted.
You go with the losers? Oh, I see. All right.
Men, who thinks about sex more, you or your wife? Who thinks about sex more, you or your wife? Now you think about that, and we'll come back to your answer in just a moment. Betty, what's Alan going to say?
Think about what? I think Alan's going to say that he thinks about sex more.
Is it true?
No.
No. Okay, let's bring him on and find out. Alan,
yeah.
In your family, who thinks more about sex?
Well, I like to think it's a tie in my family, but you get for it's a game, right? We got to have an answer, right? I do.
That's what she said. You're right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alan.
You're welcome, Bird.
You do think it's a tie in your house, huh?
I hope so.
Okay, well, when you see this, you'll find out. Thanks, Alan. You have a say.
What did she say?
Never mind.
What did she say?
Claire, what's Scully going to say?
Grease.
Grease. Feeling better?
Yes, sir. Oh, I like this
All right.
game now.
Oh, I tell you, she's a sore winner. Here we go. Betty and Shelby have...
You say?
Well, I have a very good sophisticated answer.
I'll bet you do.
I couldn't spell toupee, but I said wig, and that
Wig
works.
is a hairpiece. That's one for Gary. Yeah.
Oh, honey, I'm not sophisticated. Oh, stop all that kissing and pretense and all that stuff.
I understand. Moi is what she said.
Mwah.
Cal. That's a logical mind he has there. Well,
he's an animal.
They're turning hostile out here, Betty.
I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
Betty,
You, Alan.
I thought you'd be pleased now.
I'd be surprised, and then I'd be irritated.
Well, that's what I mean, for heaven's sakes. A vote of confidence a guy my age needs it.
Sorry, Betty. No score there.
I've been taken, too.
Mr. White? Alan?
Thank you. Now I feel better. I was going to vote for number 2 because I like the way she answered about...
Are you kissing my wife's hand there?
Well, who's
Later
robbing this train?
Later it's an elbow, then a shoulder.
Let's continue playing password.
You gave her a nice ring. That's
Yeah.
lovely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Were you on The Price is Right?
Shall we continue playing the game for which we came? Password. Let's meet 2 new players.
Betty White, meet your new partner from New...
Oh, everybody's a jokester on it. Balfifi is our
Not
current
everybody.
challenger over here from Samoa. What did you say? It's not easy, folks. It's not easy. I'm married to the lady.
Men are always said to be undressing women with their eyes. Visualizing them with no clothes on. Well, we know what that means. I didn't have to say it right. Do you ever do that when you meet an attractive man? You ever say on the pot, Alan, Alan, what's Betty gonna say?
Until I heard Kathy's reason, I was all sure. But her reason was that she didn't because she's got a gorgeous husband, right? So I don't know what Betty's got. Betty swears that the body is not the important thing. She goes for a man's personality and mind. And
It's hard to undress his personality.
yeah. And she likes the crack, I think probably Betty's going to say No. All right, no. I don't think she, I really don't think she does.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Let's bring her on.
Watch this
and
gang.
find out. Here she comes. Betty, men are always said to be undressing women with their eyes. Do you ever do that when you meet an attractive man?
I have to honestly answer this.
Sure.
I mean, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. No, I don't.
That's what he said. You're right.
That's a little brainwashing. That's seen one, seen them all. I've taught her that.
Is that right?
Well, would your product be found in the home?
Yes.
Would it be the kind of product that I would use as readily as my wife?
It's highly unlikely. 2 down and 8 to go. Betty.
Mr. Barnett, you don't know my husband.
Thank heavens for the nuptial estate, that's all.
It's something then that I would be apt to use.
Yes.
You don't know my wife.
Would it be? Would it be?
I've got to pick it up off the floor here. I threw it at you. Where is it?
Don't know.
Oh, here it is.
You should see his room at home.
I'm very
password.
neat. All right, 10 points, Ernie.
The password is lilac.
Score stand 16 for Shelley Berman's team, nothing for Betty White's team.
Thanks,
Password.
you don't have to say it like that.
Password to Betty White and
Some of
Shelley
my
Berman
best
is
friends
they,
are kangaroos.
they look at it, you look at it.
The password.
First password goes to the winner of the last game, Shelley Berman. To the loser of the last game, Betty White. As they look at it, want you to see it.
The password is silence.
It's kind of interesting. Men, is it easier for you to tell when your wife is feeling romantic or when she's not feeling romantic? But I'd like to press you, Betty, for the answer to this question. I mean, is it easier for Alan to tell when you're feeling romantic or when you're not feeling romantic?
Well, if I leave all the dogs downstairs, I mean, look out. No, listen. I think to play the game and to answer the question, absolutely. Sometimes you can misread signals, but I think he always knows if I'm not. I think that's easier for him to tell.
Right, because then it's all the dogs are upstairs. One way he
And
knows.
a couple of stray friends. You know, no, I really...
It's easier for him to tell when you're not.
I think he can read those signals without a doubt,
Right.
rare as they may be.
Yes, of course. Here he comes now. Alan, is it easier for you to tell when Betty is feeling romantic or when she's not feeling romantic?
Well, the unusual is always easier to spot than the usual, right?
Mhm.
She's usually romantic, so it's easier to spot her when she's unromantic.
That's it. You got it. Everybody got it. Incredible.
That fascinates me. Look,
Alan.
Well, I'm not going to touch it. I would like to show the people at home this lovely. What is this?
That's a diamond.
Now get your hand off it so we can see it.
It's an M.
It's an M. I didn't touch anything.
You'll be back, I trust.
Oh, I'd love to.
And will you come back too sometime, Betty?
Well, you mean to the house or here?
No, any place. You play delightfully, and it's good to have you
At
here.
the house or here?
Well, she
thinking
plays
of it,
pretty
man.
good at the house, too, I got to tell you. All right. This is Alan Ludden saying the password tonight is...
Home. Will you take me home, please, Mr. Ludden?
I certainly will, Miss Ludden. Thank you. Good night.
Tell him what you said, Betty.
I said, idiot that I am, that you're trustworthy.
I started to say
Well,
that.
why didn't you? You could have said it.
Now, don't fight. That's not on the list here. I'm sorry. You don't have a share of that, Alan, but you'll be kind about it, I know.
Yeah, but not generous. At home, and this time, Judy, you and Joe are given the clues, and you have, thank you, dear, and you have the option. Thanks a lot, Betty. All right, here we go. Jack and Myra give the clues. Oh, Paul.
You brought your wife to beat me, huh?
Brought my wife. Hello, Betty.
Hello, darling. Alan, how are you?
I've got to tell you something. I have managed to confuse, according to our mail, everybody in America about what we're going to do this summer in summer stock. Would you just quickly clarify where we're going to do what, when?
With pleasure. We're looking forward to opening in Warren, Ohio on June 9th in Critics' Choice. Then we move to Columbus, Ohio and open June 16th in Critics' Choice. And then the first week in August, we go to the Starlight Theater in Kansas City with Mr. President, and I'm not pregnant to answer all your letters.
That clarifies an awful lot of letters, believe me.
This is it. Ladies, suddenly one night, you and your husband feel romantic.
Okay. How about
Who turns off the lights? You, your husband, or do you just leave them on?
You're what? You're Irish?
Absolutely.
You leave them on all the time, huh? Well, I tell you, Bert.
Yes.
I think sometimes it's because we're in this business under the lights all the time and everything. You know, you see enough of yourself when the lights are on.
Really? You do?
No, I turn
Not
the
where I
lights
work, I
off.
don't.
I'm the one who turns them off.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I look better in the dark. And I know I work better in the dark.
The old kissing bandit, eh?
You darn
okay.
right.
You work better in the dark, and so you turn the lights off, right?
Yeah, I'm the one who does it. Sometimes it surprises us and we don't get the lights off, but it's usually, I like it dark.
Yeah. Okay. Here comes Betty now.
Watch her blow the whole thing.
No, I don't think so. I'm going to kill Eugene Wood. Betty, suddenly one night you and Alan feel romantic. Who turns off the lights? You or Alan, or do you just leave them on?
First of all, you're close. You said one night. No question.
What do you say yeah for?
No question about it, Alan does.
That's right, he does. He turns them on. Betty, what do you think the reason is for Alan turning the one to turn off the lights like that?
I really don't know. I've never been in the mood to ask him.
Really didn't seem to matter at the time, did it?
No.
Thank you, Betty. I was just curious, that's all.
Betty, you'd have 15 if you do it on this one. First one.
Oh, boy.
All right, Betty, you got two clues up there. You got boots and hairdo. What do you think's the answer?
Oh, boots and hairdo. It could be almost anybody. Is it Dolly Parton?
Is it Dolly Parton? Not Dolly Parton, but that's who I thought it was.
Oh, Boots! Oh, excuse me.
Well, there are two of them.
You see what I live with? Yeah. And it's not bad, I gotta tell you, gang. All right. 10 points, Alan. See if you can get Betty to say it.
Marriage.
Oh, that always throws me.
Does all of us.
Wedding.
Yes. Marriage, wedding. All right, I'm glad you got that, Betty. 10 to 8.
Which would you rather have? Longer legs, a smaller waist, or a bigger bust? Which would Betty rather have? Longer legs, a smaller waist, or a bigger bust?
Now, if you happen to have seen her recently on the Carol Burnett show, you know that she's okay.
Yes,
on
sir.
top. She's fine in the middle.
Yes.
And the legs are good, too. You see, America discovered her legs,
Yes.
and they're really good
Well,
legs.
I knew about that a long time ago.
Oh, you did?
Well,
How did you know that a long time ago?
I didn't know about it at first hand. Oh, no, that's not what I want to say.
You keep your hand. I've heard about your hand.
Never mind.
All right, now. However, if she's going to have to wish for anything, she will probably say she wishes for longer legs. Not that I think she needs them, but I think that's what she's going to think.
Okay, that's the one. Here she comes. Nobody's gotten this right yet. Betty, which would you rather have? Longer legs, a smaller waist, or a bigger bust?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oui.
If you had to choose one.
I think I'd go for the longer leg.
That's the one who said, you don't need them, but he said, you can have them.
But would you point out to her that I'd said she did not need them?
Yes, he did say that. In front of everybody, he said that. Absolutely. Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
Keep these Two, all right. At the game, that is. At the game, that is. All right, let's see. You know, this third game idea may be fun. I like to see you celebrities over here.
See us lose.
I like to see you compete like that.
Sadistic. You'll find that out about.
We'll continue playing Password in just a moment. Right now, let's watch this.
You did one and he did the other one while I was talking to Charles.
You couldn't tell the difference?
Does this go on when I'm not here?
Yeah. What's that?
Same question, first kiss. Alan. Alan, you are up there, sir, with a fast right.
All right, I tell you what. It's a very simple thing if she'll just clear her head and remember it. Our first kiss was literally in a play. We were doing Critics' Choice. She was going with somebody else pretty heavily. And the first kiss I ever remember, I hope that's the one she remembers, was play, and it was Critics' Choice, and I think I'll say Dennett. No, I can't use the proper name, can I?
No, it can't. It has to be one or two-word clue.
Oh, stage. I'll say stage. On stage. It was on stage.
You want a two-word on stage
no,
or
just
one word?
stage.
Just stage. One-word clue worth $100.
Wait, she might get mixed up with stage there. Play, I think play's better. Let's say play.
Play.
Then she'll think it's a play kiss.
Yeah.
Stage.
It's only a half-hour show,
Why
Alan.
don't you just leave her, Alan? You're in a lot of trouble. So
Stock. What about summer stock? Would that do it? Stock?
Stock?
Stock would do it. Stock.
I think you kissed
All
a
right.
horse.
Yeah, let's say I kissed a horse.
They're all nodding their heads, yes.
Why stock?
Oh, you want to go with stock?
Stock.
All right, stock it is.
I don't like
First
first.
kiss.
It's not my right.
That sounds like your cow story again. Okay.
All right. God knows what we're going to get, kids.
All right, shh, let's bring on the ladies. Shh, everybody. Ladies, we have a question and we have a clue. Here is the question first. It is the same question. First kiss. And here is the clue. Stock. Betty. All right, Betty. Tell us about that.
Well, he started to kiss me, and I said, stop. No, it wasn't that at all. No, what it was, we were in the car, and we had been kind of friendly with each other, and all of a sudden he pulled up with his stop signal, and he kissed me, and I think we missed 4 lights, but it was just lovely. That was Alan, wasn't
I'm
it?
sorry. That's a very interesting
She
story.
misunderstood the clue.
I think you misunderstood the word. I said stock.
Stuck. I thought you said stop.
No, I said S-T-O-C-K. Stock. And I'm sorry, that's not the answer that we have.
The first time he kissed me, I was stuck with him.
O-C-K.
Wrong
stock.
again.
The story. Tell her what you said.
I
Alan. You
told
probably
him that
remember
the
now.
first time I kissed you, and I was using it kind of euphemistically, was in summer stock
That's what I
at Dennis, Mass. Is that wrong, Betty?
I was so hung up at this stoplight, which was a couple of months before that, if you remember. I don't mean to bring up these problems on the
No,
air.
the stoplight was after summer stock.
Well,
Betty.
anyway.
It was, wasn't it?
Yes, it probably was, but we haven't got time to argue about it now, gang. Betty, Alan, you...
Please, you can, because
Can't read them, don't say them.
we're going to show 5 passwords here to Betty, and she's going to give you 1-word clues, and each one the word that you get is worth $50. The trick is you have to do it all in 1 minute. Here's the first word.
Reading a good deal about our two chums, and you're going to both do something together this summer anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
We're going to do Brigadoon.
We're going to do Brigadoon, and we're
In
going to...
Patterson, New Jersey, the week of July 9th. And she's going to do King and I in St. Louis. And then
We're going to go back to where we met in Skowhegan and Dennis and do Janus. It's going to be a busy summer.
It is.
then we're going to move. Do you believe he didn't have it engraved?
I know. I don't see why it says Mark Goodson on the
Oh,
back.
no. Listen, we got 45 seconds or 30 now to say something very, very honest and very sincere and rather sentimental. I met this lady on this game 14 years ago. I've loved every minute of it. I've worked for the best. It'll be a tough game to replace. Someday, maybe somewhere, there's another game show worthy of this kind of interest and love, but this is the best game show you can be associated with, and I'm darn grateful I had 14 lovely years with it. And thank you for supporting. Thank you. Let's go up there.
First of all, here's a question for you worth $150. Ladies, the very first time you met your husband, what was your impression of him? A positive impression a negative impression, or no particular impression at all?
Gee, Betty, I don't know. It wasn't negative in the sense that I don't think she disliked me. It wasn't indifferent because Betty's never indifferent. But when I say positive, it wasn't a wowee, boing, boing, da-ding, doing, immediately, no.
No.
It was kind of a positive, sort of negative. It was kind of well, why not? He's okay, but she was more interested in somebody else. It really wasn't, I'm sorry to say, one of those gangbusters skyrocket.
But then what finally happened? I mean, how did you bring this all about?
Well, it took a long time.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, it certainly wasn't.
And you had to get rid of the other guy.
She had to get rid of the other guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to help her get rid of the other guy.
Right, exactly.
And then I had to convince her that marriage was a good idea, and I don't think you want the whole story. It's only a half-hour show.
I got a feeling we do.
She's going to say positive because she's a positive lady.
All right, she's going to say positive. Okay, here comes Betty now. Hold tight. Betty, the very first time you met Alan, what was your impression of him? A positive one, a negative one, or no particular impression at all?
It was the third week and the password was on the air, and I thought he was absolutely smashing. I just thought he was tremendous.
Is that what is that?
That's as positive as
Positive is the one we want, yes. Betty and Alan and Betsy and Bill. All right, with the opening question and a half, we shall return momentarily.
And a young man who is starring on Broadway in what I think is one of the most delightful plays in many a season. Now...
You know.
You know.
I rehearsed him all morning, George.
You know, I Can't Hear You When the Water Is Running. The star, along with Eileen Heckert and Marty Balsam, George Grizzard. It's you know that bothers me on the top. You know I Can't Hear You When the Water's Running. Let's be two more password players, shall we?
Buddy.
George Grizzard, over here on my left, starring in Now. You know I Can't Hear You When the Water's Running. George Grizzard, ladies and gentlemen. I have a now on it. It's really just, you know what? Well, let's be two more password players, shall we? Thank you. Hello, Betty.
Hello, Alan.
What are your plans for the summer, Betty?
Well, I'm going to do some... What did you have in mind, Alan? I'm going to do some summer theater with my husband, Alan.
Where, Betty?
Alan and I are going to do, Alan Ludden, that is, on Password, are going to do Brigadoon in Patterson, New Jersey, and then we're going to I go to St. Louis, we're going to have a big fight, and then I go to St. Louis and do King and I. Then we make up, and Alan and I are going to get back together again in Janus, Dennis and Skowhegan.
Gee, I hope I can see it. Nice to have you here. It's a very great thrill to have Betty here. Your first partner tonight, Betty, is...
What kind of a honeymoon did you have?
This is my show, and I ask the question. How are you, Bob Ware? What do you do for a living?
I'm an attorney, Alan.
Are you married?
Yes, I am. Two children.
Good. Jack, you've really been recommending this institution of marriage, and I want to say that I appreciate all the good words you have to say for it. How long have you been married?
19 years.
Would you have been nervous if you were in my position tonight?
Well, if you don't know now, kid, there's not much I can tell you about the whole thing.
It's really a great thrill to have you here, Betty.
I'm delighted because she's an old friend of mine for many, many years, with my wives and daughters.
Yes.
Thank you, Jim.
And it's real nice to have these old friends back together again, and I'm glad to be here in the middle.
You get home early one afternoon and discover a dozen teenage girls have broken into your yard and are skinny dipping in your pool. They tell you it's all part of their sorority initiation, and they have to spend another hour there. Would you let them stay, or would you ask them to leave? Betty, what about in Alan's case? What would he do?
Well, if he was sure I was still at the market, where I log a lot of time, he loves young people, female persuasion particularly, and with all that going for him, I think he would still be a little ticked off that they broke into his yard. I really think he'd ask them to leave.
Okay, there you go. Now, that's an honest answer, because there is a key word in there. They have broken into your yard. True story. You'll say he would ask them to leave.
I think so.
Here he comes. You don't know. You get home early one afternoon.
Yeah.
Alan, you discover a dozen teenage girls have broken into your yard and are skinny dipping in your pool.
Yeah.
They tell you it's part of their sorority initiation, and they have to spend another hour there.
Oh.
Would you let them stay, or would you ask them to leave?
You say a dozen?
Yes, sir.
12? That's a nice round number.
That's 24.
I'm a very hospitable man. I would have no reason to make them leave. I would think another hour would be nice.
No, that's not what Betty said. But tell him why you said that, Betty, because it was a good reason.
Well, the key word, I think, was broken in. I've heard you on the subject of the privacy of your property, and I think even though they're gorgeous, all of them, and I love each and every one of their black little hearts.
Yeah.
But I really think that...
You're right. I'm sorry. Broken in, I should have heard that. I think breaking in to other people's property... I hate myself.
Too late now.
You see, now the world knows she's smarter than I am.
The password is romance.
Okay, start with you, Bob. 10 points.
Affair.
What was that word?
Affair. Careful, honey. It's a family show.
Occasion.
Occasion. Thank you. 9 points. And Walden. It seems to me that is a wonderfully literate response, but it works. It works because everybody is reading this now. It's a good book to read these days of hectic rushing around. You like that book, don't you, Betty? Thoreau's. What are you looking at?
I was just wondering what you'd say if I said no. Of course I like it, but I mean, it's just that's sort of a rhetoric question. I was just wondering.
It's kind of a silly question.
No.
Well, I had a few minutes to kill. I just thought I'd... Why did I ask her anyway? I don't know. George, the password. Now, that rule seems to be the most complicated of our rules, or the only complicated rule in this game. You understand that, You understand that, George?
Yes, Alan, I understand that, and I will explain it to Betty later.
You will explain it, but you... 4 points over here, 24 points over there, and they can win, so watch it.
The password is lullaby.
Yeah. Can I help you? All right. 10 points.
It's worth $150.
Now listen, Betty.
Yes.
I'm listening.
She's listening, Alan. You listen. Now, here we go. Let's say the Tattletale Wizard offers to keep your life exactly the way it is for the rest of your days.
Mm-hmm.
Would you accept this, or would you continue to take your chances that things might get either better or worse? What about Alan? Is he open for change, or would he like to keep things as wonderful as they are?
I gotta tell you, I don't think things could be much better than they are at this given point in time. I think he'd settle for it.
He'd take this right now?
Yes.
You're sure of that now?
Yes, I'm sure of
You're
that.
sure?
Yes.
The blue section is grumbling already. Because
Trust
they know.
me. Trust me.
They know every time. Heard that before, huh, gang? Okay, let's bring him on and see what see what he says. Alan!
Yeah?
What are you going to do? You have your choice. Would you like things to stay as they are, or would you take your chances on the future?
Well, this is kind of a heavy question, actually.
It is, actually.
And Betty and I have talked about the fact that this is one of the best times of our lives. And yet I am a Libra, so I'm wavering, Annie, I know, but I don't want things to change drastically. No, I think I would say, if I had to make the choice, and I hope I never do, I would keep it the way it is.
That's what she said. I tell you, you can meander with the best of them, you know that?
He scares a girl to death.
He goes up, down, over, and in and out. And
On the other hand.
But you got it right, sir. You're absolutely right. That's what Betty said. She said things are awfully good, and why change them? And that's fine. I'm glad to hear that.
Okay, you won, by golly, Mike. You're going to play the lightning round now. You ready, Betty?
Yes, sir.
Uncross your fingers. Oh, you can cross them if you want. You can do whatever you want.
Don't double
I'm
cross
sorry.
me.
Trying to hurt me.
All right. 1 minute.
I'm for him.
Here's the kind of surprised you too, didn't it, Sue?
Yeah,
Well, let's see what you do with the lightning round. You ready, Betty?
Yes, sir.
Got your fingers crossed?
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. Keep them crossed. 1 minute. And you wrote in applying to be a contestant, right?
Yes.
A call.
Uh-huh.
You wrote in?
I wrote in.
You got an answer? Everybody's been nice to you?
Fantastic.
You ready to go? Would you like to play?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're starting a brand new competition with Betty White and Gene Rayburn, and it's nice to have you here.
My story is not dissimilar to Karen's.
I know.
I tried out and wound up married to the MC.
Well, I must say you were brilliant in the tryouts.
I don't want to hear any more about that. That's enough of that.
Next to them, the red section, winning money for them, will be Mr. Alan Ludden and Betty White. She's there.
I just wanted to be sure she's
Yeah.
there. I know her, don't I?
It's the same one you came in with.
Yeah,
She's there. Betty,
Do
it's
they
nice
know that we have so far not done too well?
Yes,
no,
but
no,
we haven't
you're
been
gonna
very
do
good
it.
on this show either.
You're doing fine. And Betty, you're doing fine already, in fact. While I've got...
And here's the star of Password Plus, Alan Ludden.
Well, I want you to be friendly, but that's ridiculous. What was all that going on over there?
Where? Did I miss something?
No, I think you did everything you could right there. All right.
Hi, Betty.
Hi, Bert.
How are you, darling?
Just fine, darling. How are you?
Well,
Don't-
I'm good.
Let's
What's
not-
all this, darling?
Never mind. Cool it.
We can do that. No, it's not a Hollywood term. We really are friends, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Perfectly all right for us to say,
I
darling.
like it better when there's this kind of distance between you two.
Oh, yeah, she's backstage.
Put those 4 dimples together and you have nothing but trouble.